Maybe you've felt this too. That sensation of always chasing money, as if it had its own way of disappearing when you least notice. And in the middle of this rush, many people believe the only way out is to work more, sleep less, and accept that life is just like this. But there's a detail almost nobody talks about, and this is exactly where everything changes. It's not work that traps you. It's the way you think about it. The lack of money doesn't start with your salary. It starts with your mindset, because when you believe effort is the only solution, you end up entering a cycle that never ends. And it's at this point I want you to reflect. It's not about working more. It's about learning to use the right principles. It's about understanding what really makes money grow and what makes it slip through your fingers without you noticing. When this key turns inside you, even what seemed impossible starts to make sense. Real change starts here, in your head, before reaching your pocket. And when you understand this, something important happens. The feeling of being trapped starts to lose strength, because you realize the problem was never lack of effort. In fact, effort is what most people have in abundance. What's missing is direction, and direction is born from a simple understanding. Money doesn't only respond to how much you work. Money responds to how much you understand about money. Many people spend their entire lives repeating the same pattern because they believe more work means more life. But what really changes everything is learning how money moves, what makes it grow, what makes it multiply, and especially what makes it escape without you noticing. When you start applying correct financial principles, even if they're small steps, something inside you changes. You stop acting on autopilot and start acting with awareness. And it's this awareness that takes you out of the scarcity cycle. Because deep down, what sustains the constant lack of money isn't low salary. It's the mindset that hasn't yet been trained to prosper. When you change the way you think, you change the way you live. And this is exactly what opens space for something many people have never experienced: stability, clarity, and real growth. I remember the first time I heard Robert Kiyosaki say something that at first seems even uncomfortable. The traditional work model was made to keep people trapped. When I heard this, my reaction was the same as many people's. What do you mean trapped? I work, get paid, pay my bills. Isn't this normal? And that's exactly the point. There's a silent system nobody questions. You study, get a job, receive a salary, pay the bills, and restart everything the next month. It's such an automatic cycle, it seems natural. But natural doesn't mean liberating. What Kiyosaki explains, and what many people only understand after years, is that whoever follows only this model lives within the same logic all the time. Trading hours for money, and when your hours run out, your income runs out too. Meanwhile, the rich think differently. They observe the system and realize there's a game being played, and most people never learned the true rules. They don't accept living at the pace the world delivers. They build their own pace. The key isn't working more. It's thinking in a way most people were never taught. It's seeing there's a structure behind everything. And if you don't understand how it works, you always play the game at the hardest level. When you learn to think like the rich, something changes inside you. You stop asking, how much do I earn per hour, and start asking, how do I make my money work for me? You stop looking only at effort and start looking at strategies. And when your mind changes, your financial life starts to change too. Before we continue, let me ask you something important. If this video is making you see money in a different way, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. This helps this content reach more people who also need to break this cycle and start building financial freedom. Kiyosaki then presents something simple but powerful: the 90-day system. And maybe you've never heard of this, but it works like a personal compass. Every 3 months, you stop for a moment and look at your own journey, not to criticize yourself, but to understand who you're becoming. He explains that instead of living the whole year on autopilot, you divide your journey into short cycles, cycles you can hold in your hand, cycles you can truly see. Every 90 days, you ask 3 fundamental questions. What did I accomplish? What increased my confidence? And what 5 goals do I need to set for the next cycle? It's an almost therapeutic process, because when you look at your achievements, even the small ones, you remember you're moving forward. And when you set new goals, you create clear direction, not an infinite list that never leaves paper. The secret is in consistency. With each cycle, you build a slightly stronger, slightly more focused, slightly more prepared version of yourself. This is how financial life really changes, not with a big leap, but with small cycles of conscious progress. And when you repeat this 3, 4, 5 times a year, you start to notice results appear naturally. Because when you know where you're going, the path stops being heavy and becomes intentional. After each 90-day cycle, Kiyosaki explains there's a step many people ignore: the pause. It's not giving up. It's not relaxing for weeks. It's just a small breath, a short break for you to reorganize your mind, look at everything you've done, and allow your body to understand that phase is complete. He says this pause is important because it keeps your energy alive. Without it, you wear out. But with it, you renew your focus. But there's an essential detail: the pause can't become comfort. It needs to be light, quick, and conscious. Because if you stay still too long, procrastination takes over without you noticing. It's like slightly loosening your pace before moving forward, not to lose rhythm, but to ensure the next cycle is even stronger, more disciplined, and clearer. He explains this pause works almost like the moment an athlete takes a deep breath before continuing the race. It's not stopping the competition. It's just adjusting your breathing. Because the truth is simple: nobody can maintain absolute focus for unlimited time. And when you allow yourself this small break, you avoid the emotional burnout that stops so many people from continuing. It's in this break you notice details you didn't see while in intense rhythm. You understand what worked, what needs improvement, what can be done differently. It's like cleaning your glasses before continuing the walk. Everything becomes clearer. But here comes the important warning: this pause can't become an excuse. If you stretch it too much, your mind starts negotiating with you, bringing that dangerous thought, I'll come back tomorrow. And we know how that ends. Tomorrow becomes a week, the week becomes a month, and the cycle that should take you forward simply gets lost. That's why Kiyosaki reinforces: stop a little, but come back soon. Rest, but don't scatter. Breathe, but don't lose rhythm. This small discipline is what prevents you from falling into the famous stagnation cycle, where nothing moves because everything became eternal pause. In the end, this conscious pause is what keeps your mind sharp and your heart motivated. It's what connects one cycle to another with real energy, that energy that transforms intention into action. Kiyosaki makes an observation that seems simple, but changes a lot when you really understand. Most people quickly forget everything they achieved, but keep every failure as if it were a permanent scar. It's as if the mind had a special magnifying glass only for mistakes. What you do right becomes a detail. What you do wrong becomes history, and this is dangerous. Because when you only remember what went wrong, you create the feeling you're not evolving, that you're always starting from zero, that nothing works, even when it works. Kiyosaki hits exactly on this key. That's why tracking your own progress is so important. When you record your victories, even the small ones, you give your brain real proof you're moving forward. You create a visible history, something that shows the cycles aren't repetition, they're construction. And this changes everything, because when you remember what you've already done, motivation doesn't need to be pushed. It's born on its own. It grows naturally. It's like walking on a road where you can look back and see the footprints you left. You're going somewhere because you see the path you've already walked. And almost silently, this strengthens your confidence. that confidence that makes you continue when many people would stop. Kiyosaki then touches on a point many people even know, but ignore in daily life. The focus needs to change. While most people spend their entire lives thinking, how do I spend less? Those who prosper ask a completely different question. How do I invest more? And this simple change of question changes someone's financial destiny. The truth is, spending is easy. Spending is automatic. Spending is almost a reflex. You blink and money disappears. But investing is a conscious decision. It's you looking at now and choosing to give up a bit of comfort today to build something bigger tomorrow. Kiyosaki talks about real estate, stocks, cryptocurrencies, but it's not about which investment is the best. It's about creating the habit of multiplying instead of just consuming. It's about training your mind to see opportunities where most only see prices. And there's something even more important. Before investing money, you invest in yourself, in your financial education, in your understanding of how the money game works. Because you can only make good decisions when you understand the ground you're standing on. That's why those who prosper don't live obsessed with expenses. They live committed to growth, to construction, to creating something that continues bearing fruit even when the day is difficult. In the end, changing focus isn't just about money. It's about changing who you're becoming. Kiyosaki reinforces something almost nobody realizes at the beginning of the financial journey. The focus shouldn't be on effort, but on results. Many people take pride in working hard, in making maximum effort, in dedicating themselves to the limit. But effort alone doesn't guarantee change. You can spend years putting energy in the wrong place and remain stuck in the same spot. He explains that when strategy doesn't work, insisting isn't discipline, it's stubbornness. There's no point putting more force into something that's already shown it doesn't bring returns. What transforms your financial life isn't how much you work, it's how you work. It's clarity of method, it's intelligence of route. It's the adjustment you make when you realize you're walking in circles. It's like trying to open a door by pushing from the wrong side. You can push all day, you can sweat, you can complain, you can get tired. But nothing will happen until you change position. And this is the part that requires courage. Changing method. Changing the way you think. Trading what always seemed right for something that actually works. When you understand this, your relationship with money changes. You stop measuring your value by tiredness and start measuring by direction. And right direction is worth more than months of wasted effort. Sometimes life tries to teach you something you insist on ignoring, and that's why it repeats the lesson once, twice, 10 times, until you finally realize you can't keep living the same way. Because there comes a time when the weight you carry starts charging too high a price. When you finally look inside, you realize it wasn't the world against you. It was yourself, trapped in habits that held you back, expenses that drained your energy, excuses. You used to postpone your own dreams, fears you treated as insurmountable walls. Change doesn't start with a big shout. It starts with silence that instant when you're alone with your thoughts and realize you can't run from the truth anymore. You deserve more than this life on autopilot. Deserve more than repeating the same mistakes expecting different results. And when it clicks, something changes inside. Something lights a flame, small but constant, that says, I can be greater, I can go beyond, I can start over. And maybe this is exactly the moment you're living. Now that moment when everything inside you finally decides to get up, change, and follow a path calling your name, even though you don't yet know where it will take you. And when you take that first step, something unexpected happens. The world starts responding differently. Doors that before seemed locked start opening, opportunities you never saw start appearing, and you realize it wasn't lack of luck, it was lack of direction. You start understanding small choices repeated every day create giant changes. You stop spending on impulse, start organizing your money, learn to hold a little today, to have much more tomorrow, and this changes everything because power isn't in how much you earn, but in how you decide to use what you have. And each small decision becomes a brick in building your future. You may not notice at the time, but gradually you become someone more conscious, more strong, more prepared, someone who no longer lives at the mercy of salary, someone who starts building wealth, freedom, and tranquility. It's at this moment you understand prospering isn't luck. It's direction, it's discipline, it's clarity. It's choosing not to live on autopilot anymore and taking the wheel of your own life. And if you're here now listening to this, it's because deep down, you're already ready for this next level. Even if it's scary, even if it seems far, you're walking. And this already puts you ahead of many people who haven't even started yet. And then something powerful starts happening. You begin noticing everything around you, responds to your internal movement when you change inside. Life changes outside, first subtly, almost imperceptibly, then clearly, directly, and impossibly to ignore. You start realizing you don't need to accept anymore. What pulled you back, habits that drained you, people who demotivated you, routines that kept you stuck in the same place. When you decide to grow, the world tests you but also rewards you. You start understanding every choice is a seed, and the harvest always comes for those who plant with intention. And maybe for the first time, you realize controlling your own money isn't about numbers. It's about identity. It's about who you're becoming with each decision. It's about assuming your life deserves more than survival, deserves construction, purpose, and peace. And then you look back and almost don't recognize yourself. Realize the person who lived on autopilot isn't you anymore. Because now you see what was always there, just needed courage to admit you were born for more and are finally starting to live as someone who knows this. And it's at this point in the journey, something inside you truly awakens, that feeling of now it's on, that doesn't come from momentary excitement, but from deep conviction, because you finally understand there's no big change without a first step, small, firm, and conscious. You start realizing everything you always wanted wasn't too far. It was just waiting for your decision to take command of your own life. And as you advance, a new understanding appears. Prosperity doesn't start when you earn more. It starts when you position yourself as someone who deserves more. And when this key turns things, stop being a burden and start being part of a purpose. You start making choices that strengthen you, not that empty you, decisions that protect you, not that put you at risk, behaviors that bring you closer to the future you want, not that keep you trapped in the past you overcame. You understand changing your relationship with money is changing your relationship with yourself. It's stopping sabotaging yourself in silence. It's stopping accepting the minimum. It's recognizing your life is worth investment, discipline, and direction. And the more you assume this, the clearer it becomes that freedom isn't a dream. It's a path, a process that starts inside and then appears outside. And at this point, you finally see it's not just about money. It's about the life you want to live and the type of person you need to become to get there. And when you put all this together, you realize it wasn't chance, it wasn't luck, it wasn't someone from outside who changed your story. It was you choosing to leave autopilot, take a conscious step, then another and another, until you realize the life that before seemed distant is now within your reach. Because deep down, financial freedom isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about building a solid path where each decision takes you a little further, where each new habit protects you, where each intelligent choice brings you closer to the future you always imagined. And if this video moved, you opened your eyes, made you realize there's still time. It's still possible your story isn't written, just repeated. Then let this content reach even more people. Like the video, share with someone you love, someone you want to see growing by your side, because change is more powerful when it doesn't happen alone. And remember, everything starts with a decision, and you just made yours.